Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, July 31st, last day of July, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. You can't change the truth, but the truth can change you. There are as many great truths in our universe as there are stars in the sky. And yet, just like the billions of trillions, the billions of trillions of stars that exist, not all truths are created equal. This universe is not just made of black and white colors. It appears that way when you look at it, when you look at this night sky and everything, for the most part. Look closer, and if you do, you'll see on a clear night, and you'll see an entire rainbow of flavors. There is a vast multidimensional cosmic playground out there. And inside you as well. Now figure it out. These bodies have trillions of cells, right? Now each cell has its own movement, believe it or not. And it has its own consciousness. When you look at this universe, billions of trillions of stars, right? They all have their own consciousness. And we live in a highly diverse, intelligent system which contains various degrees of truth. And so not every truth will impact us the exact same way. The bigger a truth is, the more it will expand our reality. And the smaller a truth is, the more it will shrink and contract our experience of this life. The good news is that you don't have to decide what is a big truth and what is a small truth. Your physical body will let you know, for your heart is the best guide for seeing how expansive or contracted a truth actually is. Whenever we discover a larger, more profound truth in this life, a little miracle happens. Everything that once felt hard, heavy, and stuck inside us suddenly becomes exalted and liberated. We feel lighter than air and are filled with a natural, spontaneous joy inside, which flows as freely as the wind. The mind stops thinking, and we experience our own source of consciousness. And from here we see life from a much more expanded perspective. And it can happen within milliseconds. One of the biggest truths I've ever uncovered along my path was the first lesson in the Course in Miracles. It simply states, that which is real cannot be threatened, and that which is unreal does not exist. It may take you a while to spiritually digest this enormous truth into your mind and root it throughout your life. And the more you sit with it, the deeper it can transform your entire way of viewing yourself and others in the world. That which is real cannot be threatened. Okay? Think about this. What is it that feels threatened inside you? What is this personality, self, ego, or that thing you call you, which defends itself when feeling attacked or provoked? What is this little you who has a need to be on guard and protect itself, trying to assist itself and attempting to achieve something important or worthwhile with their life? And then, who is this overly strong, confident, all-important you who compensates for the super small, unimportant you? It's the one who has been attempting to make your life secure by feeling self-important, accomplished, met in deep embrace by their beloved, and all the while is feeling a deep and constant separation from God. The good news in all this is that who we truly are has nothing to do, has nothing to do with who and what we think we are. Big understanding. Who we truly are has nothing to do with who and what we think we are. Whatever we may think of and conceive of about ourselves with the mind can only be a thought. And this little thought is too small to be who or what we are. And who and what we really are is beyond any spiritual understanding of the mind. In this moment, and only this moment, we can find what is actually real. And this real thing is the only thing that liberates us and binds us at the same time. That which is real, the real you, the real you, does not change. And this essence is what remains the same for all eternity. Perhaps the most pivotal, enlightening truth that some have discovered is understanding how all identification with the ego is based in some form of fear. All identification with the ego is based in some form of fear. If we are not experiencing a state of oneness, unity, love, connection, relaxation, and bliss, we are hanging out in some quality or version of fear. Now, you can debate this with yourself till you're blue in the face, but it's a fact. The ego is clinging to some thought or a process of thoughts which believes deep down that it is not one with the divine. It thinks it is not loved, accepted, embraced, or enlightened. The more creative you become, the more godly you become. When your creativity comes to a climax, when each moment of your life is filled with creativity, you live in God. Osho. Enlightenment is simply realizing again and again how to remain non-identified with one's ego. Enlightenment is simply realizing again and again and again how to remain non-identified with one's ego. The enlightened state is a pure seeing, understanding how the ego is the greatest illusion of them all. Okay? The enlightened state is a pure seeing, understanding how the ego is the greatest illusion of them all. To intimately know and become identified with the real self, that which cannot be threatened. That's the real self, that which cannot be threatened, is the only true path to total freedom there is. It's the only one. All other paths lead to some form of suffering. It requires no basic standard of ethics, codes of spirituality, or religious background needed to arrive. You simply experience yourself as the essence of consciousness that you naturally are. The ego, who we think we are, the ego is who we think we are, has some truth to it. Yet it's just not a very big truth. It's a smaller truth which only castrates our ability to expand into love, trust, and a feeling of oneness. Ego is a fear-based program, and it is a program that is based in the opposite experience of trust. Whenever we are living in trust 24 hours a day, we start accessing all the wisdom and knowledge known to all the saints, masters, and enlightened beings throughout history, throughout true history. We step into the greatest experience of our lives. We find our real true selves and know that we are the real masters of our destiny. When we know our real nature, we can allow life to play its ego personality role through us and somehow not get in the way. We can sit back, go with the flow, and enjoy the ride. We can remain fascinated by life, learning how we are here to serve others, take care of our bodies, and simply let the all-intelligent life force move through us. This state of perpetual enjoyment of life is real mastery. When we remain free from all forms of ego identification, we cannot help but to enjoy all aspects of this life. We allow a greater love to always guide our course and help us live with ease and grace in every way. The moment you start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, all the burden on your heart disappears. All the fear of death, of life, of love, everything disappears. One starts living with a very light weight or almost no weight. So weightless one becomes. One can fly in the open sky. Osho. Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. Andrew again. Every single movement that all of us make is as one, and it is for us to discover that. It begins to seep in, and things begin to transform. And you begin to view individually, right? Individually separation. And you begin to view everything much differently. You begin to view the fact that, okay, so the ego does this and does that and does that. And you just kind of sit back, relax, go with the flow. As you see, and you watch the ego and you watch how it operates and everything. You don't judge it, but you know. So you begin to master every one of us will eventually understand that we have all the knowledge, all the experience of all the great masters, saints, all of them, philosophers. We have all that. All of us do. You begin to realize that since we are all one, the God's within these bodies, it doesn't matter what the parts of the God do, because we all experience it as one. You know, that sounds kind of strange. And then people say, well, then why don't I know all this? Because the ego has mastered you. That's why you don't know it all. It's why you don't know this. And this is why you don't employ it. See, and separation goes very far. So you begin to understand that when I participate, right? When I participate in the ego, which we all do, I lose sight of the fact of who and what I am. Because then I believe I'm the ego. The ego mind, right? And I'm artificially, it's not, let's put it this way, it's an illusion that you are separated from the God that you are. You can't be. But we say separation from the God that you are because the ego mind is running the show. And we're interfacing, see, so we're not kicked back and letting it do its thing, and you're non-participatory. You see what I mean? It's doing its thing, but you're not engaged with it. So that's the difference. And see, because of the ego mind, right, we look at life as very serious in most cases and not playful. And the burden that we carry in life, and the fear of death, and the fear of life, and the fear of love, and the fear of everything, right? We all experience this to just different degrees. And see, we're compelled and pushed and prodded to believe this, to believe we're separate, right? To believe that we're not loved, to worry, right? To fear. All of these things. And none of us are exempt from it. So the moment we start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, all the burden on our hearts disappear. All the fear of death, of life, of love, everything disappears. We start living with a very light weight, or almost no weight. So weightless one becomes one can fly in the open sky. And we will fly in the open sky. That's not figuratively. This is a major discovery for the one, this civilization. And it's for us to determine or to decide to go within in that journey of discovery. Nobody's going to force anybody to do this, trick anybody to do it. It will come from your heart, mind, and the God within you to decide. I'm going to go within from now on. It's not about impressing anybody. I went within a couple years ago. It isn't about the ego, but through the heart, mind, you've decided to do it. You aren't doing it for anybody but you. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we all choose to do is relax our bodies. And we relax our bodies through our breath. And we take easy and slow breaths in through the nose, easy and slow breaths out through the mouth. We listen to our breath. This isn't something that we all do. Okay, we know that. It's not something that we practice a lot. But once we choose to go within, we begin to practice this because we start realizing what it's about. See? And when we focus on our breath and listen to our breath, the body lets go. You see, all of us carry stress in different parts of the body. Doesn't mean we know, right? And for most of our lives, we don't even identify with that state. We don't pay attention to it. And so the stress over the years, with a lot of us, will take its toll. It will cause biological disorder in these bodies. And so when the biological disorder takes place, then our attention is drawn to the body, correct? Right? Yeah. Then, of course, the worry, the stress, the fear, and anxiety come in. Doesn't it make sense that we choose to practice through the breath in the now, which alleviates all the stress, anxiety, worry, stress, and fear of everything? Now, when we do that, we move into the now. And the now is all we have. The ego mind will argue with you forever, trying to disprove that. Right? And the reason that is that it doesn't exist in the now. So doesn't it make sense that it will do every single thing it can to convince you that the now is not where you should be? You should be in yesterday or tomorrow, where the suffering is. So when we move into the now, we choose to move into the now, we still the ego mind, the subconscious mind. The reason we do this is because we don't participate. We leave them alone. And this is something that sounds complicated, maybe, and it isn't. You practice leaving them alone through the breath. Now, the only place that you can master them is in the now, through the breath. There isn't any other way. And you watch. You don't judge. You watch them operate. And there's where it comes in, where you kick back, go with the flow, and just watch. You see? Now, it doesn't mean you're not participating, okay? You're watching the ego mind do its thing. But you're not compelled to get up, jump into the game, okay? Because that's the ego mind compelling you. Well, I better get in there, okay? Instead, you sit back, put your feet up, and watch it all transpire through the heart mind. Now, see, the subconscious mind, we got all these minds. Isn't it crazy? This mind, that mind, super id, super ego, blah, 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 blah. It's all one. It's all an illusion. And so you say, well, we've got the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, what does it do? It mirrors the conscious mind. So it records everything. Everything. Well, we come into these baby bodies and it begins and it's just onward, right? And everything around us, all interactions, all experiences, all others' experiences. And it does this whenever we come into these physical forms, these humanoid forms, we inherit all that stuff, right? So we stay in the now, period. And we understand, we watch the subconscious mind record everything. Right? So we're aware of that. And see, so we begin to master it. And I can guarantee you that when you get to some point of mastership over the subconscious mind, your garage or your great hall, however you want to put it, isn't packed with stuff that you never refer to and is long gone. You see what I mean? Now, the subconscious mind is the great hall, right? Could be, you call it anything. And why is it the great hall? Because the subconscious mind records everything. It records past lives, future lives. It records everything, mirrors everything the conscious mind does. Now it'll play it back. This is when, see, we haven't mastered it, and we don't have a clue. And so we're kind of going along our business, right? And in life, and we get this feeling. Could be anywhere, any place, anytime. And the feeling comes in, and we go, I've done this before. And I know I have. I don't know where or, when, but I've done this before. And you have. Hands down, you have. And see, then you begin to understand is that, okay, so the subconscious mind mirrored that and recorded that, maybe this lifetime or another lifetime. And it played it back randomly. Now we will go in and take the past path, right? We find ourselves all the time standing in front of three paths anyway. The one we're standing in is the center, which is the now. The one on the left is yesterday, the past. The one on the right is tomorrow, the future. We see how the trees have formed golden canopies over each path with the branches and the leaves and the bark, and it's beautiful, shimmering. And the path as well is a brilliant emerald green flaming grass. It appears to be, right? And so the only thing we notice on these paths is that yesterday, the past path, is super worn. It's been used a lot. The one on the right, the tomorrow path, is super worn. It's been used a lot. The one we're standing on, the now, focused on our breath, it looks almost brand new. And the really good thing is because we know why that is. We know that the ego mind does everything it can to keep us out of the now. It doesn't exist in the now, so therefore it doesn't care to have us in the now. It's highly insecure anyway. So, but we reminisce, we have nostalgia, things bring back, we keep things because of memories. So pretty much, heirlooms, family heritages and whatever, handed down throughout the generations. And they do carry an energy path, and you interact with them. There's, oh boy, this has a story to it, right? And we enjoy that, and there's nothing wrong with it. So we'll go into the past. We'll take the past path. Yesterday, there's a door in front of us. We open the door, turn on the light. It's this great hall. Now, when you walk into any room, you may not be consciously aware of it. Your eyes immediately flash the ceiling and the walls. Period. Okay? Now, you do the same thing. We do the same thing when we walk into the great hall, but we don't see ceilings or walls because it is so humongous. Now, we will go to the drawers and the shelves, and we'll pick some movies out and some books and some pictures of our life experiences. Okay, we'll go sit in an easy chair. We'll notice it's a white rectangle floating in there, and we watch some of the movies, we read some of the books, and we look at some of the pictures. And all in all, we have a good time because we kind of use it as a reference source at times. And I did this 20, 30 years ago. It didn't work. But since I've gained more knowledge and experience, I believe that if I do it this way, it'll work. And then other things that we've done that were really fun. We really enjoyed them. And so we review them, so to speak. We don't really relive them. We review them, and we have a good time. However, we don't stay there. It's easy to get caught there and stay there, right? We don't. What we do is we'll put everything away, we will turn off the light, and we will move forward in life, and we will, on occasion, revisit. Some of us unconsciously will stay there too long, get really carried away. So we end up bringing that past into a future that doesn't exist. We create that future from that past, and we relive that past and that future. And a lot of people, they'll either say it to themselves or others. No matter what we do, we always seem to end up here. Have you ever heard people say they feel like they've been chasing their tail their whole life? Or they feel like they're on a hamster wheel going nowhere. They just don't feel like they're moving forward. You ever experienced that? That's why. But they aren't aware because they're unconscious about it. They don't know why that has transpired. Now we'll go into the future. We're all prodded. We're all poked. We're hurried. We get anxious at times. Because the ego mind, you go find this out. Go into the future and find this out. You got to, right? Curiosity. So we do. We'll take the tomorrow path. Now, when we get in there, we seek external authority. We want somebody to tell us what's going to happen in so many words. We want confirmation. And so we will go to, you've got tarot card readers, you've got astrologers, numerologists, you have tea leaf readers, palm readers, psychics, clairvoyants. There's many sources. So you go to one of those sources and they say, what would you like to know? And you say, in so many words, I would like to know when I will have enough money to enjoy my life. That's pretty generic. It can be explained in many different ways, but that's pretty generic. So the external authority will do their thing, right? And then they'll begin to tell you what's going to happen for you. They say, well, you're going to come into a major amount of money in the next few weeks. And you're not going to expect it. And so immediately you take that in and you go, wow, this is okay. But we have different responses with people. And so the first group is like, this is a joke. I'm just doing this for the fun of it, right? And so they're pessimistic and they have no belief in it. They think it's all a bunch of hogwash. But they did it just for the fun of it. Then you have the other group that white knuckles it. I mean, grips onto it so tight that it can't breathe. And puts in their calendar, counts the hours, develops attachments to the expectations and attachments to the outcome of this. And it's like super fine, tight hold. Now the third group, they have total trust and faith in themselves and the universe. There's no doubt anywhere. They know the universe has their back 24/7. So but they want to make sure that they're clear on that intent that the external authority gave them, right? This information. So they go over it and make sure there's no conflict and they're not in their own way, and they release it to the universe. Now, out of those three groups, the third one every time will manifest it. The first one and the second one maybe once in a blue moon. Now, we all know, at least that's why we're in these meditations, we'd be in these meditations if we weren't awake to a certain extent. We know that we are one. Consciously aware means that we know we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest, eternal love. And we know that all these illusions, that's what they are, all these other bodies and peoples and all these trees, everything that we look at as separate with these eyes, don't we? We look at it as separate. Bill Johnson down the street, separate. Huh? That cow in the field, separate. It's interesting. And it's all an illusion. So you look at the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, Andromedans, felines, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian, and just endless others. You look at the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood. Mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur. Many, many, many more. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath her. All of our loved ones who have left the body, right, send out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've participated in. All the light energy spectrums, everything. The archangels, cherubim, seraphim, archetypes. We're all one. You're the angels are you. And we're all experiencing 24/7. Now, are we experiencing the illusion? Well, kind of, until we discover that it is an illusion and that we choose to go within and we kick back and go with the flow. And we watch all of it do its thing through the heart mind. So it doesn't matter. A billion light years away, there's several civilizations, right? And their gods are housed in physical forms, for the most part. And so, so they're separate. No, they're not. They're one. We're all one, everywhere in all existence. Huge discovery for any civilization. Now, we look at this planet, the gods that we are in this body, and you look at it and you say, you know what? That this planet is too lopsided. It has too much pure evil, lower dark matter, survival matter frequency, souls that have taken on too much darkness, rogue AI goop. Let's clean it up. Let's increase the vibrational frequency with pure, deep, eternal love. And that's what we're doing. And we've been doing that for over 4.5 years. Okay? In full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. This is, and you're going to see it very shortly, the results of this transformation. All of us are. Now, we form a massive white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet, right? Which emanates from the gods that we are, which is pure, deep, eternal love. Now, this light is so bright it grays out the darkness of sacred space. Now, one of us, the light that we are, right, in these bodies, you could take 1 billion suns, one of us, right, and you can compress them. You could put them all together in a bunch, and the light that we are, one of us are, those suns will pale in comparison just with your light. Now take 1 billion of us in physical form, humanoid form, right? And then all the rest of us in all the other forms. It's spectacular. Trillions and trillions of suns that pale in comparison to our combined light. And we're affecting, right, this quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy. The universe, this universe, and all connected universes. You want a visual of that? You literally, you have a body of water. It's absolutely like glass, right? You drop an object into water, say a stone. You see it, you watch it, and you see the waves go out from where you dropped the object, right? And eventually, the waves disappear. But what you don't see, it's affecting that entire body of water, that stone that you dropped in it. That's what you don't see. And we're all one. We're all God, and we're all love. How, really? Because ego mind is going to try and convince you. There's no way that this planet is not transcending into a higher vibrational frequency. It already is. It cannot be put asunder. It can't be stopped, reversed, period. So we ascend. We're always ascending. Remember that. We're always ascending. So we begin to ascend above the planet, and we're met with this massive ocean of glitter. Now, it's not like an ocean of glitter that you would kind of see on this planet. It's way beyond that. It's vividly sparkling clear. The colors you've never seen before, and it's everywhere. And we look at those reflective points, and we discover that those reflective points are us. The gods that we are within these physical forms. And that all of us are teaching each other, learning from each other, infinity and beyond. Now, when any of us decide on our own to go within and stay within, we see a lot of this. We experience it. We focus through the heart-mind, and so we see things like, I wonder what it would be like to be that tree. I wonder what it'd be like to be the leaf on that tree. And when we go through all of these things and we interface with other gods in other physical forms, and so they teach us. All of a sudden a hawk or a bird can appear over you, and you just, most people say, they don't pay attention to it. But it is a communication. It's the same with anything, a dog, a cat, a horse, a cow, bug. It doesn't matter. It's all one. We're all one, and we're all connected, and we're all communicating in various ways. Now, you remember when you were a kid, you look at something, most of us did, right? And we'd look at something, and we'd be so curious, and we'd say, I want to be that. And, the parents would say, well, that's silly. You're Bobby. You're that body. That's who you are. No, I want to be that. I want to know what it's like to be that. And we could do that today. I mean, you look at something and you say to yourself, I wonder what it would be like to be that rock or that tree or that bush. You're not thinking about mortality or length of life or anything. You're thinking about the experience. That's all. Okay? You're feeling the experience. So, and then when you look at that and you focus on your breath and you move into the now, you'll know exactly what it's like in a brief moment to be that. You see, all of us are so omnipotently powerful. It's strange because the majority of us believe the opposite. Isn't that wild? Now, we create the gods that we are in these bodies. We create columns of light. We create, you have Archangel Raphael carrying an omnipotently powerful emerald green flaming healing light. This is to remind us, the gods that we are, that we are the power of healing these bodies. We aren't there yet, but we have discovered this. Few on planet have discovered it. Then we have Archangel Michael. He's carrying a violet, blue, purple flaming light. This is to remind us all, the gods that we are in these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. Then we have the white fire. This is a column of light that we've created to remind us all from head to toe, inside and out, we are protected. How can that be? Well, the light emanates from the gods that we are, and we are of the highest high vibrational frequency of pure, deep, eternal love. The lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, the souls that have taken on too much darkness, the AI rogue goop, pure evil. See, their vibrational frequency is very heavy and it's very dense. So when it gets around our vibrational frequency of pure, deep, eternal love, it vaporizes. It cannot hold its form. Ever. Okay? So we are always protected. We're protected from demon intrusion, demon possession. We're protected from lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, attachments, all of that, period, as long as we maintain that vibrational frequency. Now, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, anger, fear, greed, revenge, dishonesty, manipulation, worry, stress, hurriedness, envy, you'll create a breach in your white fire armor, allowing all lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies come flooding in. Then you're vulnerable to demon attack, demon possession, attachments, and many other things. Now, if you do decide to do this, we, the gods in these bodies, have fail-safes that we've created. We create this double column of light. First part of the column is a purple transmuting flame. It reminds us we bring in the purple transmuting flame. We transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies in neutral light substance. We send them to pure consciousness, and they're no more. Second part of this column of light is the violet ray. This reminds us to bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. Cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony, the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, purest of the purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. Then we're met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we, the gods in these bodies, created to remind us all that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the rain and the rainbows. We are the oceans, rivers, lakes, the streams. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the trees in the forest and the soils and the animals, the clouds in the sky. We're everything. We always have been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever, the gods that we are in these bodies. Now, those who are being entertained by the physical material world through the ego mind, they're going to look at a sunset and they're going to say, "Isn't that beautiful? I got to get a picture of that." Right? Those of us who have chosen to go within, we look at it from the heart mind and say, "That's the God that I am." Whether it be a rainbow, a sunset, a sunrise, anything, that is the God that I am. It's a whole different understanding. And it brings us to the realization that we are one. Now, all of us continue to ascend, as always. We're ascending. We're continually increasing vibrational frequency to go into higher and higher and higher dimensional frequencies. Now, some of us decide to step outside our physical form for carrying physical form and hover effortlessly above it. The reason we do this is because we can, and it's fun. Now we come in contact with this massive crystalline light tower that we, the gods, created. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. The center of the column is an oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is a golden white ball of light. In turn, it is surrounded by multicolored rings of light that seem to go to infinity and beyond. This, in turn, creates a super bright, white, sparkling, reflective cloud, mist. It's absorbed through our heart minds, and it feels like a warm embrace that never ends. We discover that the golden white ball of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, and massive abundance. And all of this is a reflection of the gods that we are within these bodies. Now, we designed it, the gods that we are, we designed the top of this column so that the golden ocean can come cascading down 24/7, infinity and beyond, which is pure, deep, eternal love, flooding, saturating, permeating all life, the highest supreme value in the universe is this planet. Now, we're all drops of this golden ocean. And we also hold the essence to this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops, drops are the golden ocean. The only illusion is separation. Now, we see our meditative sphere. We, the gods in these bodies, created this sphere over 4.5 years ago. It is moving towards holding 1,900 meditations in perpetual motion. That is absolutely spectacular. These meditations continue to intensify, advance, and grow, flooding this planet, saturating, permeating, infinity and beyond. It doesn't end. It will not end. That's why the sphere can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, grow, and expand. And it's affecting everything in this universe and all the other universes. Now, anytime you wish, the God that you are, you can fold into your breath, still all the illusions, ego mind, subconscious mind, all of it. Focus on the breath, and you can float as a watcher, and you can see what we've done, what the gods that we are have done. The atmosphere is all golden, white, pink lights everywhere. It's up in the sky. It's everywhere, right? You can walk through it, float through it. Now, you also see all of this darkness, this goop. And it looks like it's being evacuated from the planet. It's everywhere. It's all going up. And you see as it hits this golden, white, pink field of light, it disintegrates. It flashes and is gone. And that's what's happening. How can that be? We have increased the vibrational frequency of this planet as the gods that we are. Our vibrational frequencies are off the chart. We are affecting every one of the other gods on the planet, whether they're asleep or not. This, in turn, is intensifying, and it is literally ascending the planet and the civilization. And the reveal is just around the corner. And then you might say, will this end? Is this temporary? No. This is permanent. Why? Because we're interested as a collective in ascending into higher and higher and higher and higher vibrational frequencies. Okay? And what? Experience. So we go to 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21, and beyond. This is very exciting. And we, all of us, as the one, have engaged it through the heart mind. No matter how small or stuck any of us feel, we can always find a way to transcend it. Dream big. Let yourself explore a new dimension of your greatest power, your imagination. Start with creating a movie image of what you want your life to look like, feel like, sound like, and taste like. And hold that vision all day long. Anytime your mind wanders, return to it. Stick to it like super glue for this one day. As much as you can. You'll be pleasantly surprised how much you've stretched yourself and your mind with this one effort. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Be still. Imagine your body is loose, limp. Stop all your striving and contraction about everything in your life. Sit down and focus on the feeling of being spineless, no spine, and totally flexible. Just do it and stay limp, one moment at a time. Soon, you'll notice a deeper experience of peace and expansiveness begins to happen in your body. Whenever any muscle in your body starts to contract, other than what normal activity would entail, practice this feeling and let it expand until you are completely at ease. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here August 1st, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.